Lincoln, we saw Mario and Jordan out there a little bit today. Do you feel good about their status for this weekend?
They're better. They're participating more. I mean, it's neither one of them have been full participants, but they're very, very close. I mean, I don't know that I for sure say yes, but we're a lot closer to saying yes with several of those guys, which is good.
Is there any incentive to hold them out another week and just get extra rest?
No. Guys that can play are going to play across the board. But we only get so many of these. They're all important. They all matter. So anybody that is cleared medically to play will play.
What's the challenge of keeping focus on Colorado this week when there's two big games kind of looming?
None. I mean, honestly, it's great. It's a short week. Like you're doing everything in 24 hours less, and so I mean, you got to pack it in. You got to prepare. There's zero talk of any of that. Right now it's just a race. Like, I mean, that's what short weeks feel like. It's just an absolute race the entire week to try to get ready for Colorado.
Outside of changing the days for practice, what kind of things change when it is a short week?
Everything. The schedules are different. Their class schedules now hit on different days. The prep's different. The install's different. It really changes everything. I mean, you get in such a routine, and we've been in a routine here for now, a lot of weeks in a row. So you feel the differences. And the thing we've learned is we got to cut out anything that's unnecessary. Cut out anything where we feel like we can, because you can't make up for those 24 hours, right? You can't all of a sudden go create that. So you've got to cut out a few things that you deem unnecessary and obviously do enough to be able to be ready to go, but not have so much to do for the guys and for the staff that it's not realistic for you to get ready to play at a high level.
With Michael Jackson at 30, he was hurt limited for so long. Did you even have any sense for what kind of player he was until he got fully healthy?
He had like a couple of practices in the spring, and he did a few things, especially kind of aggressively running through the ball, catching the ball. You were like, okay, like this guy's, there's something there. Like, it was enough to get excited about. And yeah, it's been cool to see how he's progressed. I mean, I don't think we're surprised, by how well he's played, but it's been good to see that after missing all that time, that mentally he stayed into it, and that I think physically, like the one thing he's really done a good job of, and sometimes young guys don't do this as well at the beginning of their careers, is taking what you do on the practice field, and that shows up. And like, he is the same player on Saturdays that he is out here, and that is, it sounds easy, it's not easy. Right, you get out there in those moments, and no matter what you try to simulate out here, to guys, it feels different, especially early in your career. And he kind of just goes one speed all the time and just doesn't really think twice about it, and it's the same way all the time. And that's been cool to see, and that's why he's had so much success.
Alex Grinch has been pretty brutally honest in his assessment of the defense at times, especially these last couple of weeks. I wonder how would you assess his job in coaching over these last couple of weeks and how he's adjusted to that year?
Oh man, Alex is a pro. I mean, this is not Alex's first rodeo. We're not going to back off of the high expectations that we have on all parts of this. And Alex feels the same way. I feel the same way. We all feel the same way. I memean, honestly, after last week, we all feel about the same. I mean, we stunk offensively in the first half. We stunk defensively in the second half. And the thing this team has done a phenomenal job of up to this point, I mean, phenomenal. That's why we've had a chance to win every single game, is we've rarely had stretches where we didn't play well on both sides. It's typically been defense is playing really well, and there's tons of examples, and offense is sputtering along, and then we've had a few, obviously, vice versa too. We've done a great job of covering up for each other, and that's why we've had chances to win, and we've won all of them but one. We obviously all are pushing hard to want to surge together and kind of feel that and be able to play well on both sides together. We've had a few stretches this year, but we're all striving for that, right? We're striving for it on offense, defense, special teams. I think there's an excitement and appreciation about these guys winning, and that part of it's pretty important. But there's also, like, on all sides, there's like just this hunger to get better and to get to where we can. And so Alex is like every other staff member there.
Where can Caleb get better over these last few games?
Well, he's had a good stretch of games, but like it doesn't always just it's not one continuous game, right? Each one is kind of its own deal. It's like its own world. And so there'll be new challenges this week and in the coming weeks. And I think just continuing to prepare at a high level, go play at a high level, understand what we're seeing, understand how we're trying to attack. He's done a nice job, I think, operating with some of the different lineup changes, both, I mean, really the front and obviously at the skill positions. We've played a lot of different people the last few weeks, and he's done a good job handling that. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be new challenges. I'm glad of how he's responded the last few weeks, but we're obviously going to need him to keep doing it.
Kind of going off of that, as a quarterback, how have you seen him try to develop that chemistry with those new guys coming in that you have to use?
Well, I think some of it helped in that, spring ball, we didn't have all the guys. We've had some guys in and out here and there. So a lot of that work happens behind the scenes in the summer, happens out here on the practice field. So I think he has a lot of confidence in some of the different lineups that we have and different guys that are available. And I think those guys have kind of backed that confidence up by going out there and making plays. And there's being on the same page, but there's also just the belief that that person's going to make the play on the other side of it, and our guys have done a good job of doing that.
How was it that you first came into contact with Benny Wiley, and what have you seen just in terms of how he's been able to really just change around the toughness and kind of the culture of this team?
Yeah, first came in contact as a player at Texas Tech when he was my strength coach. I'm not his most prized pupil. Trust me, I'm not the one he puts up on his resume. But yeah, I was impressed at that time, even just as a young kid that didn't know jack. I was impressed by his knowledge of it, but he's got a great way of like kind of not relating to the guys. It's not relating, but like getting his message across. And it's a tough, kind of hard-nosed world, strength and conditioning. But if you got a guy that also can build a lot of culture as much as train their bodies, like that's a really special guy. And yeah, we've just had a great relationship from then. I transitioned over to the staff at Texas Tech and got to know him really well there, and then we had some great years there together, and then we had a job open up at OU a few years ago, and he was the first guy that I thought of, and I love his approach. I think kind of as things have evolved in college football, he's an ideal guy because he can do so many things at a high level. He's been tremendous. He's a great human being. I mean, he's just one of those guys, like, that part of it's going to be handled. And as a head coach, to have parts of your program that you obviously oversee, but you don't have to worry about on a day-to-day basis because the guy in charge of it's handling it. It's a great thing, and he's certainly one of my most trusted friends and most trusted staff members.
Thank you, Coach Riley.
All right.